skin so gorgeous. We thank the life gorgeous. Thank the life gorgeous. I love the life gorgeous. Its torso is so tight.
Well, hello there, young people and everyone out there in the world. My name is Craigers. Welcome to the Life Gorgeous, where I share my magical life in hopes of improving your life. I answer your questions. You guys have great questions. Keep the questions coming. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Press the leave a message and ask me advice, help, whatever you want. I'm here for you. Today's guest, Ian Eagle. I've always liked him. The voice of the Nets, works for TNT, works for CBS Pro Football. Shocked by his answer concerning pie. I don't know what he is thinking. Let's meet him. Here's Ian. Proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ian Eagle. Great to see you, man.
Craigers, pleasure. Really good to see you. Really good to talk to you, man.
So I don't want to make you blush or surprise you. You're one of my favorites. There's you're in the three with Bob Costas, Ernie Johnson, and Ian Eagle. All three are very bright, great voices, nice guys, which is kind of important. But I like your sense of humor. Have you always been funny?
I was always funny. Yeah, I grew up in an entertainment family. My dad was a stand-up comedian. My mother was a singer. And it was a very non-traditional upbringing. And I was encouraged to be unique and be different. And my life, as I knew it, was very different. I just didn't realize it at the time. I just assumed everybody else was going out on the road with their parents, watching them on stage, watching them perform, watching the angst before the performance, and then the blood, sweat, and tears. And that's all I knew, literally, for the first 6 years of my life. And then it got a little more quasi-normal. They realized they just couldn't bring me around to everything, and stayed with more or less a housekeeper for the next 4 or 5 years of my life. So that first 10-year period where you're figuring things out and it's your formative years, definitely. I definitely was given this platform to just be me and not conform to anything.
You seem like an only child, but before we get to that,
I know.
I didn't know until I just did a little research. I didn't even know that your dad, until the other day when I was doing a little research. So he was a performer, did some commercials, did stand up. And did you find, my dad was very, very funny. He was a Steve Allen type. I think he was funnier than me. But he was, he worked as a businessman, so he didn't. He did some play acting. He's actually from the East Coast. He was born in Queens, went to Teaneck High, and went to Rutgers.
Whoa.
The same. David Stern went to Teaneck and Rutgers, ironically.
Yeah, of course, I'm a Queens guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Forest Hills.
Oh, yeah. Did you? Did you find yourself funny, and did your dad think you were funny as a kid?
Yeah, my dad definitely thought I was funny. I wasn't doing it trying to get a laugh. I think it was more just the tone that was set in our lives. And it's interesting. My dad was probably a deeper thinker than your typical go up there, do your 40 minutes of shtick. He was more professorial in many ways, but he had his act that would kill. He worked the Catskill Mountains. It was tailored for a very specific audience. I never saw him die on stage ever.
Wow.
And I saw hundreds of performances. And the crazy part, Craig, I remember maybe I was like 6 years old and I was watching the audience. So I wasn't watching my father. I decided to take a different perspective and watch the audience react to him. And I saw one guy that was not laughing at all. And I asked my dad afterwards, I said, hey, did you notice the guy that wasn't laughing? And as I said, I was about 6 years old at the time. And he said, Ian. He said, yeah, I noticed him. I said, but here's the thing. This is what he said. He said, I don't know what's going on in his life. Maybe his wife is stooping his accountant. I don't know. I was like, What's stooping? I don't.
That's that must have been a fun childhood. Would you say my neighbor says that I tell him once a week that I had a happy childhood. But would you say in general you had a happy childhood? I mean, was there not too much stress or tension or
Yeah.
anything?
Is your neighbor a psychiatrist, a
No.
professional in any way, or you just talk to him about your
He's
background and
actually he's
your
actually a good
likes?
he's a good guy. He actually worked he worked in journalism for a while at the LA Times. He's a nice guy. Kilby has some positive energy and it throws people off. But go ahead.
Yeah. Did I have a happy childhood? I did. It was definitely odd and different. And I look back on it now and I would change nothing about it. But, I was trying to figure some things out in that next phase of life. I was in a private school, early, small school, Montessori school, very diverse, and that
Kind of like
benefited me a great
Rushmore, like
deal.
Jason Schwartzman and
Yeah,
Rushmore. Yeah.
little bit, little bit. Then got to the public school
Yeah.
in grade school a little bit later, and there was a period of adjustment where, oh wow, the teachers don't care about you and they don't take personal interest and you're not special. So once I kind of worked my way through that into junior high school, yeah, it was all
Did
good.
did you play sports growing up, or did you just love sports? Or did you play sports?
I loved it. I played it. Yeah, I played little league and played organized basketball, got really into tennis and became a good tennis player, high school level player
Right.
and competitive tennis player. Was a ball boy in tennis, so took that passion and moved it to a different area. The reality was in my experience, sports was a place to go and show my intellect and interest in studying, memorizing, consuming. Baseball was everything. I was a Mets fan. The Mets were terrible. I didn't care. I would go into school with my Lee Mazzilli lunchbox and get ridiculed by Yankee fans that were winning multiple championships. The Mets were losing 100 plus games. I did not care. I knew everything I needed to know about the Mets. My father encouraged me. My mother encouraged me. But I don't know if they thought it was a phase. I told them at 1977, I said, I'm going to be a sportscaster. And both of them individually said, well, that's what you'll do. Great.
Did you have a good voice as a kid, or when did you develop that beautiful voice?
This is what happened. I tell them I want to be a sportscaster. My father says, oh, great. Well, that's what you'll do. The first thing, though, you're going to have to get rid of the lisp. And I said,
Oh.
what lisp? I don't, what are you even saying?
Right.
I had no idea I had a lisp. I had a lazy S.
Yeah.
So my dad had a tape recorder that he would record some thoughts and bits and work it into his act. I took the tape recorder. I worked it out on my own for 2 weeks, just drilling over and over. And by
Wow.
2 weeks, it was done.
You mean
Over.
wait a second.
Never to return.
Really? You did? I thought for a second you
Yeah.
might say he sent you to a specialist and you just did it. You just
No.
went by yourself in the garage where we do our best work. That's where I used to lift weights with the
Yeah.
recorder, and you got rid of it on your own.
Yeah, old
That-
school,
Oh,
self-medication,
oh,
whatever required at
I
the
love
time.
that.
Yeah, my dad made it very clear that this was something that I needed to improve upon, and that was my focus, to get rid of this lazy S and make sure that this was never going to be a problem again.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to remember living lavishly is an important part of the life gorgeous. And when you live well, it can cost you. But have no fear, Lord Kilby has a solution. Zelle. I think it's kind of obvious that I eat out a lot. I go to French restaurants, and sometimes my friends pick up the bill, and that's a no-no. So afterwards, I look them in the eye, I shake their hand, and I say, I'm going to send you some money through Zelle. I ordered a lot of food tonight. Other times we'll go down to the park and have a barbecue. We all pitch in afterwards. I use Zelle. I send hundreds of dollars to my friends. It's who I am. It's kind of a rush. I'm down at the park. I'm wearing linen. I'm at a barbecue, and I'm sending people money through Zelle. I like Zelle. I like giving back. Remember, money sent goes straight into the recipient's bank account, typically in minutes between enrolled users. And best yet, you don't have to download another app because it's probably already in your banking app. So go on, look for Zelle in your banking app today. And you're welcome. I know you from the Nets, and I was watching a game this year. It was the Nets and the Cavs, and I think the Nets hit their first 10 shots. And this is Bo Derek territory. And I was like, that's Ian. That's my guy. And of course, how many of the young people saw that movie with Bo Derek? Do you know that?
None.
Do you know the
None.
do you know the Bill Frieder story about that or not? Bill Frieder was the coach of Michigan, and he was one of these guys addicted to hoops, and he knew nothing about pop culture. He always looking for the next big high school player. And he storms into the office and he goes, how come I've never heard of this Bo Derek? He's a 10. He's a 10. How come I haven't seen him play yet? I mean, it was ridiculous. But
one of my broadcast partners, though, Craig, I've had 136 different broadcast partners. Bill Frieder is on the list. I did the NCAA tournament with him on Westwood 1. I had never met him before. And I get a call before we're going to be in Phoenix. And this shows where his priorities were. He's a wonderful man, by the way, really fun to be around, unique. But I get a call. I was driving in to do a show at Sirius Radio, and I see the phone number, which I don't have in my phone, but I decide I'll pick it up. I pick it up. Hello, I am Bill Frieder. I said, hey, yeah, Bill, how you doing? We're going to be together next week on the NCAA tournament. Yeah, I want to ask you a question. Do you know Craig Silver? I said, well, yeah, no, I do know him. He's a producer at CBS Sports. I said, why? Again, I've never talked to him in my life. This is 5 seconds into the conversation. He said, he's producing the games we're doing. I need to know if we can get the CBS meal. I said, yeah, no. So you want me to talk? You go, would you talk to Craig? I go, yes, that's a done deal. We're going to get the CBS meal. It's not a problem. He goes, all right, great. We'll see you next week. That was it.
Oh, Lord.
The phone call was
I'm
20 seconds long.
I'm wondering. God, I in my head, I'm thinking, did someone say he doesn't get the meal and he's going to cut through the crap and call Ian and say, make sure I get the meal. This is the free meal in the media room before the game, right?
Yes. Yes, it's a CBS crew meal so that we wouldn't have the quote-unquote press meal. He wanted to make sure he was all set. We did not talk about the teams. We did not talk about broadcast philosophy. We did not talk about anything other than the meal, which, by the way, he got.
Oh, thank God. Thank goodness. Yeah. Exhale.
It was lasagna. It was not very good.
I always wonder, I don't like traveling, so you have to travel and fly. But I
do.
I actually heard a story. I was watching a Wolves game and the announcers were saying, his name's Bill Kennedy, right? The referee in the NBA, Bill Kennedy. Is that his name?
Yeah, Bill Kennedy. Yes.
And he was at a Memphis barbecue place. And they said, well, we ran into Bill last night at the Memphis barbecue place. He was eating a salad. And they were mocking him because he's kind of a fitness guy, I guess. But
he is he's in great shape.
Yeah. But you must, it's when you're on the road, you go to all the great restaurants, right? Is that what you do when you're on the road with the Nets?
I did. I think there was a stretch of this life where that was a big part of it. Going out, keep in mind, Craig, I started with Bill Raftery with the Nets. So are you talking about
drinking? Did you just go to drinking? Is that what you just did? Just go to alcohol?
You could, but
he's the Pat Summerall of college basketball.
Yeah. He's not a foodie by any stretch. I'll get a little grilled chicken, a little mustard. Any place we go, that's it. You have a grilled chicken back there? Like, we're in the nicest Italian restaurant. So the point is, it's about everyone coming together. and it's about forming real bonds and
Right.
relationships. And I was so beyond fortunate. Lucky is not even a term that would do justice to it. I was beyond fortunate that I happened to be on this crew that early in my career because he is someone that welcomes everyone. You
Yeah,
can
he
go to
seems
dinner with
yeah,
Bill
yeah,
Raftery
yeah.
and Craig, this is what would happen. You would be at dinner and he would invite, and they would come, a uh, local politician,
Mm.
a golf pro, a runner for him 12 years earlier who he kept in touch with, and then some guy he met at the game 2 weeks ago. It's just Hogan's Heroes. You have no idea who's showing up. It's a ragtag group, and it's fun as hell.
Yeah, I like how you left out the exotic dancer, but here's the other thing.
He
The,
had Charo. Charo was at the dinner, Craig. I don't
I
know
loved
how.
I
How does he even
loved
know
her.
Charo?
I love Charo. Um,
Coochie coochie.
yeah, there is. Well, if they don't know Bo Derek, they're not gonna know Charo, but that's okay. You don't care about using references that the audience might not get. You just do your thing. You go with your instincts because you have a wide range of ages that are listening to the Nets.
I care that I want people to feel a part of it. I don't want people to feel like it's an inside joke only. So I do trust my instincts in those situations, and I've realized through the years that's highly important. I think early in my career, I tried to color between the lines a lot, and now I'm more willing to go outside the lines a bit.
Um, Beautiful answer. True or false, some of my research, you on the road play backgammon with Kyrie Irving and you're buddies with Kyrie Irving. Is that true?
Interesting. I have no background in backgammon
Okay.
whatsoever.
No,
So that
do you know Kyrie? I mean, is he cordial? Is he ever what's I know
yeah, no,
he's
he's more than cordial.
yeah, yeah.
More than
He's
cordial. We bro hug. There have been bro hugs that have been performed. Yeah, I think Kyrie's ridiculously talented. He's also mercurial, and I would tell you that anyone that says they have a full understanding of where he's coming from at all times, and this is the angle and this is the agenda, uh, you'd be false. He's a free spirit.
right.
He absolutely beats to his own drum. It's all interconnected, Craig. That's part of the issue is that Durant and Kyrie, when they came to the Nets, this is where I think there's a little bit of a misconception that they sat down with both guys and their agents and went through what the vision was and how they're going to put this team together. None of that happened. They called and said, "We're going to play for you guys." And the Nets said, "Well, that sounds good. Great. Let's do that." That was it. There was no meeting in the Hamptons.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
there was no let's go through verse by verse PowerPoint of
Right.
how
Right.
this
Right.
organization is going to come. None of that happened. So that set the tone in many ways for the communication or lack thereof. And that's the area where they're going to have to improve if this thing is going to ultimately lead to a championship and stay together.
Right. I like the Nets because I like Nashi. I used to have dinner with Steve. He
Yep.
used to do the old show. Great
Great
guy.
guy.
On the Life Gorgeous, I preach to the young people drinking in moderation. I have a lot of admiration for people who are sober because if they abuse it. But for the young people, try not to binge drink. Don't chase the night. Don't go bar hopping where you're chasing the night and then because I like to
Yes.
go to bed. For the last 15 years, I go to bed. Sounds ridiculous. I go to bed at 9 p.m., but I like to go to bed early.
Wow.
So drink in moderation. Okay. But now I want to know, what is your drink of choice if in fact you do drink? Do you have a go-to drink of choice?
Yeah. So, Craig, this has been an interesting evolution for me.
Oh, I like how
I
serious you
went to
are. This is
college.
good. Yes.
I went to college and I partied hard
Okay.
for the first year and change.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to a Pink Floyd concert my sophomore year. And after the concert, I had an epiphany of some sort without getting into the details
Right.
of what was taking place during the concert. But after the concert, I got to my fraternity and I looked in the mirror, and this is cliche, but it's 100% true.
I'm gonna love this.
And I did not like what I saw.
Right,
I
right.
had hair that was out of control. I had not shaved. I looked like a wreck and I felt like complete shit. And I realized at that point that maybe I needed to make some changes in my life. And I did. That was a clear moment in time where I made some changes. So, did I quit everything cold turkey? I did not. I continued to enjoy myself when it was appropriate. I get into the workforce and now I get this play-by-play gig at 25 years old and I start traveling with the Nets and I get the CBS gig at 28 years old and I start traveling doing NFL and college hoops. And I'm trying to figure out balance and life and two kids, my wife who I dated in college. And I just realized for me, in order to do all these games, all these assignments, I could not drink during the season anymore. And that's after a few years with Bill Raftery and not having the same comeback ability.
Right.
Bill, somehow, it would be 3 in the morning.
Right.
The next day
Right.
he would be up, he'd be on the treadmill, and I'd walk in,
Oh.
in some hotel, and I'm a mess. And I look at him,
Right.
I'm like, how does this man do it? He goes, oh, hey,
Yeah.
Bird. He's doing his dopey walk on the treadmill. I go, how is this guy standing? So
Uh,
I've made a clear delineation of in season and off season. Off
right.
season, I do drink and I tend to
Good.
drink every day, but I do
Oh,
not abuse it by any stretch. I've gotten into
interesting.
mixed drinks the last couple of years, which I had never done. I was a beer drinker, wine drinker. I'm off wine almost entirely now, a little rosé occasionally, and it's beer and it's mixed drinks. And the
Like,
mixed drink, it could
what
be
kind of mixed
any
drinks?
it could be a martini, it could be a cosmopolitan, it could be a specialty drink, could have a
Okay.
flower in it. I don't care. I don't care if people question as it's being brought to me, if they're assuming
Right.
it's going to be handed to my wife. I don't care. I will drink it. I will enjoy it. I
Oh,
don't care what color it is. I don't care what else is in it. I'll give it
right.
a shot. I'll give anything
Right.
a shot once. So I'll try anything of the mixed drink variety.
Okay. Okay. That's a thorough answer. Let me comment because this is
Nice.
important. It is important because young people care about this stuff and I have thoughts on it. And the good news is I used to really enjoy talking about drinking. And I still do, but I'm older now. So I really cut down on my drinking because you just feel better, man. You're older, you feel
Yeah,
better. So I have great
100%.
admiration for what you're telling me that in college you said enough is enough. And you've been disciplined, is
Yes,
what I'm hearing ever since. Maybe the first few years with the Nets and Rafferty, you didn't feel great. But
correct.
it's all about feeling great. But here's the thing. I drink red wine. It's good for your heart and you're supposed to drink 2 glasses. And I've cut down where I only drink now once a week. And my favorite thing is a martini, but it's actually vodka. I don't, it's not a gin martini. It's vodka up, not officially a martini without the vermouth. I have a Twister olives, ice cold. I love the ritual of making a martini. I love the martini glass. I think it's aesthetically pleasing and beautiful.
It really is.
But yeah, but I try never to have 2 martinis because I can't. It just I hurts me too much. I feel it the next day.
Yep.
In
Agreed.
my 30s, I drank single malt scotch, which I love the smell and the flavor, but I don't. It's too hard on my body, so I have a collection that people
Can't
gave
do
me
it.
that
I
yeah
can't
it
do it.
sits there. Interestingly, my so my father drank, but I never saw him. I never saw him drunk. He would just have 1 martini when he got home from work. So and he said, Craig, my son, maybe he called me son or Craig or Craigers, Kilby. Our generation, son, you watch all the movies. They're always mixing a drink in every scene, and he didn't
Yeah.
abuse it. So he was able to drink a little vodka all the way up until the end when he passed at 87. And yeah, so I think it's great. But the one I was going to say to you is, if you can, and I'm not preaching here. I avoid the mixed drinks. When I was in my 30s, I used to drink vodka gimlets, which is Rose's lime juice, And that's just too much
Yeah.
sugar. Cosmopolitan, too much
Yeah.
sugar. I'm anti-sugar. I'm a savory guy. I like cheese, and I like charcuterie plates and the salami and everything, the prosciutto. But if you can avoid the drinks with all the sugar, that's what I would advise. I drink vodka straight and I drink red wine. That's I hope you enjoyed that.
No, I did. I did enjoy it, and it was helpful. And I'm 20 years behind you. The stuff that you were doing in your 30s, I'm doing now in my early 50s, and it's because I didn't do it in my 30s. So the mixed drink seems exciting and different. You go to a different place; they have a whole new brew. But eventually, I'm gonna tire of it.
So let me quickly, before we do this segment, I just wanted to ask you. I'm always dying to know what kind of music people listen to. So in high school and in college, do you have any favorite bands?
Yeah, I was a big Doors fan. That was my number one band as far back as I could remember. Junior high school into college, and then post college got even more interested. The Oliver Stone movie was like a religious experience for me. I saw it at the biggest theater in New York just to feel some sense that this is a happening and a concert. That was really my go-to group. I was a classic rock guy.
Say it again.
The
Someone
Doors.
Was in
The
Doors. Oh,
yeah.
My brother loves the Doors. Do you have a favorite song? Wait. L.A. Woman. What else is Walk On Through? What's the big one? To the Other Side?
Break On Through is
Break On Through.
Yeah, Break On Through is one of their biggest songs. At the end, as you said, L.A. Woman is a great song. My favorite song would probably not be the pick of most, but a song by the name of Peace Frog was the one that just got me. There was something to that riff.
Can't remember how that goes. Go ahead and hum a few bars. I can't remember.
It's blood in the streets of town of Chicago. Yeah,
all right,
I could do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, really,
that's great.
Just great. It works all of your synapses. It does. To me, it's just one of those things that takes you back and takes me back to just a very good time in my life where I was discovering things and enjoying whatever made you feel happy.
Let me just name a few people and just give me a quick response. Morrissey.
Yeah. Morrissey, the performer.
Singer. Yeah. I just want to hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Different, interesting.
Okay.
I dug some of his stuff. Some of the stuff was not my cup of tea, but yeah, I dug him.
Prince, the most talented musician of our time. Prince. Any thoughts?
Yeah, huge fan. Saw Purple Rain the day it came out. Was infatuated with Apollonia for other reasons.
She asked about you. She's out here in the Valley, and she asked about you the other day.
We have a deep connection. Sheila E., Morris Day and the Time.
Oh, look at you!
I loved it. Loved it all.
Not to talk over your head. Charo. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so
Charo,
we're gonna do this.
Love her.
This is a quick segment called Lord Kilby Leadership. I share my wonderful taste, and in the process, we learn more about Iron Eagle. Some of the questions are very hard hitting. It's a bit of a Rorschach test. It's more advanced, in my opinion. Favorite pie.
Oh man, I'm gonna hurt you here, Craig. I'm not a huge pie guy.
That's fine. You still have
not
to
a
name
huge
one.
pie guy.
You're not even going to name one?
If I had to eat a pie, if I was forced to eat a pie, I would probably eat a lemon pie. Would be my.
You mean lemon? You mean lemon meringue? You mean lemon meringue?
A meringue. I would need some kind of meringue. Yeah.
Do you like key lime pie? Do you like key lime pie?
No. I don't. Okay. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Oh, there are people that don't understand the key lime pie.
Yeah,
at Thanksgiving, pumpkin pie, my favorite, does nothing.
No,
for
never.
You.
I've never had pumpkin pie in my life.
Oh, See, we got to lead with this stuff. Yeah. No one knows this about you. Are you adverse to sweets? Because I'm not a big sweets guy, but I love my cheesecake. I love my oatmeal cookies. Do you not like
Yeah.
sweets?
No. I like sweets a lot. That's the thing. The stuff you're talking about,
Don't
that's
say
not that sweet to me.
don't say
I like it.
candy. Don't say candy. Don't say gummy bears.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Oh,
I like it.
that's embarrassing.
Bad.
I heard somebody say Michael Beasley, this athlete, this player, is eating gummy bears. He's not taking care of his body. That's so disappointing. Oh,
And
my
I
Lord.
think they live in your small intestine for up to 6 months, I believe. I think I read that somewhere.
Favorite Italian dish?
Whew, yeah, chicken parm.
Oh
would-
my
would
God.
do
I did
chicken
that the
parm.
other day. Who
Yeah.
did I have on? I think I had Ryan Russillo on the other day.
Yep.
And I asked him this and he said chicken
parm.
parm.
Well, just
I
think
like-
about it.
Yeah.
Think about what's happening there. You've
Yeah.
got chicken that's been
Yeah.
breaded. So that's an A
Deep
plus
fried.
right out of the gate.
Deep
Fried. Now you're putting a layer of sauce on it. I like
Right.
that. That's flavor.
Yeah.
And then, oh, by the way, we're just going to throw in cheese that will camouflage whatever it is that you don't even know what's under it. You're just cutting with the faith that something good's going to come out of this, and it's
Right,
really good.
Yeah. I do. The fried, even though I like eggplant parm, even though that's baked and fried as well. Usually it's fried, it's baked. I like, I'm trying not to tell people I like veal scallopini or veal marsala. So I've stopped eating veal just for all the fans out there who balked
Oh.
at me. They were,
Interesting.
but I like linguine con vongole, but I don't eat too much pasta.
Yeah.
And I love bolognese sauce. Finally,
Had it
for
last
this,
night.
oh, you did.
I
Favorite sitcom?
Boy, favorite sitcom, the one that that probably sticks with me through the years is Seinfeld, because I've seen every
Absolutely.
episode and it's
Right.
on over and over and over again at 11 o'clock at night. You can just pick up an episode, you know what's going to happen. I became a huge Curb Your Enthusiasm fan based on the Seinfeld themes, but then Larry David taking it to a whole new level of being uncomfortable. Look, going back, age group that we're in, Three's Company was, to me, almost a perfect sitcom for an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old.
Very frustrating. So frustrating with Chrissy. Oh,
Years ago, I was on a net trip, and there was a place in Marina del Rey, a little eatery called Edie's, which was right by the Ritz-Carlton. And you don't want to pay all that money for the Ritz-Carlton breakfast, so you'd walk down the street, and this joint, Edie's, was just down the block. It's not there anymore. And I was with the Nets PR guy, Gary Sussman. We're walking to Edie's together, 10 in the morning on a random Wednesday. Nets
And
are going
there
to play
she
the
is.
Clippers that night. And there's Edie's. And there's a gentleman walking towards us at a very slow pace. And he's wearing a fluorescent pink hat. And I turned to Gary, and he's a good 100 yards away. I said, Gary, that's Norman Fell right there. He goes, get out of here. I go, that's Norman Fell.
oh, that's
And we're
funny.
getting closer. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. We're going to pass him now. And I said, as we're passing, I go, Norman, how you doing? And he looks up and he goes, how you doing, kids? And he just keeps going. And Gary Sussman was blown away. It
Oh,
was
that's
one of the great
hilarious.
calls of all time. That Mr.
Oh,
Roper was right there. Right there.
I waited on Norman Fell in the late 80, probably 85 or 86, at a restaurant called Papa Louie's in Santa Monica, across from the Circle Bar. It's now the Library Ale House. And I waited on Bert Convy. I waited on,
Oh,
here's Norman Fell. He says to me, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? I said, yes. And then I waited on him, but it was very funny. Can you guess my favorite sitcom? And then we're going to take a break and come back with top 5 movies.
I mean, the Minnesota connection.
It's
The
not
Mary
Minnesota.
Tyler Moore show would come. to
That
mind.
was a great one. That was a great one. No, my favorite sitcom is Frasier.
Frasier. I was going to say
Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh, I love
and
Cheers.
It's
I love
Frasier.
Cheers. Yeah.
One of the guys behind the scenes at Frasier, Ken Levine, who's a terrific guy,
Heard that
and I've
name.
had an email relationship with, brilliant guy. He wrote some of the best stuff ever that was on Frasier. So
Yeah.
I salute you for that choice. Terrific
That
show.
is, yeah, that's my favorite. All right, stay where you are. We're going to take a quick break and we'll finish up with top 5 movies of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to remember living lavishly is an important part of the life gorgeous. And when you live well, it can cost you. But have no fear, Lord Kilby has a solution. Zelle. I think it's kind of obvious that I eat out a lot. I go to French restaurants, and sometimes my friends pick up the bill, and that's a no-no. So afterwards, I look them in the eye, I shake their hand, and I say, I'm going to send you some money through Zelle. I ordered a lot of food tonight. Other times, we'll go down to the park and have a barbecue. We all pitch in afterwards. I use Zelle. I send hundreds of dollars to my friends. It's who I am. It's kind of a rush. I'm down at the park, I'm wearing linen, I'm at a barbecue, and I'm sending people money through Zelle. I like Zelle. I like giving back. Remember, money sent goes straight into the recipient's bank account, typically in minutes between enrolled users, and best yet, you don't have to download another app because it's probably already in your banking app. So go on, look for Zelle in your banking app today, and you're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with the great Ian Eagle, voice of the Brooklyn Nets. Voice, let's see, he works at TNT, TBS, NFL on CBS. I'm forgetting things. And he apparently met Norman Fell at one point.
He did.
Go ahead. These are your top 5 movies. I always tell people it's difficult, but if you need them, you can have an honorable mention of 2. You can change the list later if it's too much pressure. And with the 5th one, I sometimes rotate the 5th one. Go right ahead, sir. Iron Eagle's top 5.
All right. Number 5, I have down. So we don't even have to debate it. We don't have to go back and forth. You can just put it in and leave it there. It's House Guest. Sinbad, Phil Hartman.
Wait, you're joking. Okay, you're not taking this seriously. Also, I should mention.
I am taking it seriously. I am taking it seriously. Okay.
No, wait.
Number 5.
I just wanted to say something because you're saying number 5. I don't put mine in a particular order. If you do, that's really cool. Are you doing an order 5 down to 1? Are you doing 5 down to 1?
I'm going to go in order.
Okay, cool. I like that.
Go in order.
Good for you.
I'm going to go in order. That's how my brain works. I can't just throw the 5 out there and let people speculate. I've got to contextualize it. Number 5, I'm going to give you Shawshank Redemption. It's a film that sticks with you. And if you don't know going in what the deal is, there's going to be that moment of surprise. There's going to be that moment where what you thought was happening is not happening. And it takes you on a journey. And from start to finish, you're intrigued. I loved it. I thought truly it was, and I loved it when it came out. I'm not one of the Johnny come latelys. I appreciated it. I think the name crushed it. It unfortunately did not help in award season. It hurt them, but
wow.
Number 4, seminal film. I think a lot of this, I'm not telling you this is one of the 5 greatest movies ever made, but it's one of the 5 movies that had the biggest impact on me and my ideal. And that's Animal House. I just thought this is what life is supposed to be. Hijinks, fun, craziness, characters, all of it. Number 3 is Goodfellas.
Ah, yes. A lot of people mention that. A lot of people mention. Yeah.
Craig.
Yes.
Every scene works.
Yeah.
Every scene, every shot, every performance, they hit every note. And to me, it's still one of the most watchable films. You could put it on right now to a 15-year-old that's never seen it and say, just sit down and watch it. Trust me, and they're going to walk out and say, holy shit, what a movie. Number two, I need to have comedies. And again, it's based on what effect it had on me, not saying the effect it had on cinema in general,
Right.
but Caddyshack had a large
Okay.
effect on me.
Right.
And how they told that story, the mixture of really good actors with really funny people. Ted Knight, he wouldn't necessarily get top billing when you start going through it, but if you just go back on his performance alone,
Right.
the fact that
Right.
he pulled that off in the way that he did,
Right.
I've read books on it. I've watched
Right.
documentaries about it. I clearly care about the movie. And then number one, look, I just watched The Offer on Paramount
Oh,
and
Lord.
thought it
Oh, my
was
God.
so
So did
well
I.
done.
Oh,
Craig, I loved it. I
Yep.
looked forward. It was like old school because I watched it in sequence. I didn't wait 8 weeks until they were all down there ready to go. I watched
Right.
it every week in full anticipation. It was my off season for the most part, and I loved it. I loved it. Old school, every week, get excited about it. So part of me would tell you that Godfather 2 was a better film
Mm-hmm.
than
Mm-hmm.
Godfather.
Right.
Part of me would tell you that. But it's hard to go against the original, what it meant for cinema, what it meant for Coppola, what it meant for Pacino, on and on and on. I'm going to go with the number one movie of all time, The Godfather.
Very, very good. That's a good list. I usually guess that people will say Goodfellas because it's so entertaining. I also like The Departed, by the way, which is not as
Excellent.
popular as Goodfellas.
Excellent.
But
really
no,
good.
so AFI, the list that I saw, I'll look it up again. They have number one, Citizen Kane, Casablanca 2, Godfather 3. And that's your list is very good, except for Caddyshack and Animal House. I'm kidding.
Yeah, you're
I'm
not a
kidding.
fan.
But
Not a fan.
I did want to say I have been telling people about The Offer, and the reason I've been telling people about the miniseries The Offer with Miles Teller is because I knew Robert Evans, and I spent time at his house and with dinner, and this guy Matthew Good, a British actor, nailed him, and I think he should get an award for it. And so that was a great miniseries. It was so much fun. Let me quickly finish up. I do my 5. I am glad I do it second because I don't like to intimidate people. And I'll quickly. I'm a huge Hitchcock fan, so I'm only going to name one Hitchcock movie, even though I could name multiple ones. But I'm going to say North by Northwest. Then I go with a movie called Chinatown, which I like film noir from the 40s and 50s. This was a film noir in the 70s. And then I go with this one you'll probably love, and whenever I mention it, people say I should put it on they should put it on their list, is The Graduate. Really love
Tremendous.
The Graduate.
Norman Fell was in The Graduate.
He was the landlord up in Berkeley. Very good.
Correct.
Very good. Very good.
With you.
And then Sunset Boulevard. I don't know if you've seen that one, or a Billy Wilder film.
Seen
with,
it.
William Holden.
Way back when.
And now my fifth one, I rotate. And I had a comedy there for a while called Tootsie, which I enjoyed in the 80s when it came out. But I put this one. This is films. Yeah, I know. Interesting. This is a newer film. It's not necessarily top 5, but I was just so impressed. I saw it in 2004, then I rewatched it a year ago, and I just go, wow, I love this. Sideways. You ever seen Sideways?
Yeah, saw it. Paul Giamatti and Thomas Hayden Church.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. I
really good.
The opposites, the depressed guy and then the shallow guy who likes the women. It made me laugh. Ian, thank you for doing this. Very nice of you to take some time out. Good luck with the season. We'll check in again. I'm proud of you. You seem like a nice person, and thanks for doing the Life Gorgeous. Thanks, man.
Yeah, ditto, my man. You and I ran into each other before a Nets Timberwolves game It was the first game of the season. I was in the hotel, saw you in the lobby. And that night, I believe they played that night. The Nets had a huge lead. Timberwolves came back. Damian Wilkins made a shot to win it.
Exactly.
It was
Yeah.
the season
That
opener.
was the
The
Johnny
Nets-
Flynn era. Yeah.
The Nets went 12-60 or 12-70 that year. So they desperately needed that win that they did not get. And Minnesota, I'm not sure Minnesota had a great season either, but
Nope.
it was a nice moment. And you were sitting there, and I remember as I was calling the final seconds, and you had rather good seats, there was this very innate reaction from you. Your body went upwards and to the side in celebration, and it was the lasting image that I had for the entire season. That moment took place. That you were at the highest of highs and the Nets were at the lowest of lows. That carried out. They set a record for most losses to open a season.
Oh boy!
And it began with that tableau.
Timberwolves pride. Timberwolves pride.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Great to see you, man.
Yeah, bud. Yeah, great seeing you, Craig. All the best.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, time to answer your questions. A very popular segment on the Life Gorgeous. Question number 1.
Lord Kilby, they say happy wife, happy life. Is that part of the Life Gorgeous?
Absolutely. I almost hesitated there. Absolutely. It's not always easy to have a great wife. And if you do, be thankful, be grateful. Makes it less stressful. I'm very fortunate. I have a princess in my life, Princess Chetty or Cherry. And I feel blessed. Hope I'm not being too open and vulnerable for the people out there. Next question.
My lord, my liege, Craigers, Fritz from Ohio here. Long-time follower, first-time commenter, excited about the podcast, or the video cast. Big league question here. Other than the mahogany-laden den, where is your martini of choice? Where do you like to go to get your favorite martini? I'm assuming somewhere in LA or in the desert. Want to know which bartender and which bar makes the best martini for you?
Wow, I do get that question on occasion, and it's a great one. I love the Polo Lounge at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I've been going there for years. I like Sean at Bicyclette and Republique. He is the beverage manager for a number of restaurants. Sean is the man. The Edmund is an underrated bar near Paramount Studios on Melrose at the Historic Hotel. And then up in San Francisco, the Big Four at the Huntington Hotel. I think it's currently closed. And also Bick's Restaurant in San Francisco. Those are some of my favorite places to have a beautiful martini. And I prefer the small glasses, the Nick and Nora glasses. Great question. And we're moving right along.
Craigers, I'm going to be uncharacteristically greedy here and ask 2 questions. Number 1, you do so much for us. What can we do for you? And number 2, what is the difference between a jungle gym and monkey bars? I consider you the premier authority in these matters.
I'll be guessing on the monkey bars. I think a jungle gym is a collection or a roundish thing where you climb all over. I can't remember the monkey bars. I can't really describe it. And I'm kind of proud that I forgot because it was so long ago. As far as what you can do for me, nothing. I ask nothing in return. I just give. We're trying to build a nice following here on YouTube and across all the platforms for the podcast. The reason I'm doing the podcast is because of the positive response from my Instagram. So I like giving back. I like help. There are a lot of nice people in the world, and they are following me on Instagram. Thanks for all the questions. Keep them coming. This is a popular segment on the Life Gorgeous podcast. That's the episode for this week. We'll see you next time. And remember, I'm proud of you.